Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Vietnam Steve, and I've got a good one for you today. Just a short one to answer two main questions people have been asking me about coming to Vietnam. And I'm here in beautiful Ha Long Bay today, and I'm going to answer these two questions and then let you go on your way. We're going to take about 5 minutes. The first one is about what sort of vaccinations and inoculations you need when you're coming to Vietnam. So a colleague messaged me this morning. He said, I'm coming with my wife shortly, and I'd love to have a beer with Vietnam Steve, but do I need to have typhoid and malaria vaccinations before I come to the land of the rising dragon? So, not being a doctor, I said not required, but take all health precautions that you need to take. So, as an Australian and as most people coming to Vietnam, I don't actually hear about immunisations that you have to have when you're coming to Vietnam. I think, malaria tablets would be useful. I don't know that it's malaria that so much that is the risk here. I know I worry about Japanese encephalitis, which is another mosquito-borne disease, and obviously I'm near some water, and that affects the brain. And I do know that the babies here, so we've got a baby in the extended family, they have vaccinations early in life for Japanese encephalitis. I don't hear anything about malaria in Vietnam, and I have to say the mosquitoes don't seem to be overly ferocious. Now, I'm the sort of person that can get bitten and I don't know it, and I don't scratch it and I don't get a lump, but there are other people that can get bitten and they come out in hives all over. So I don't find the mosquitoes to be all that prevalent. So I would say malaria is probably not something you need to have tablets for. However, take all your own health precautions. Don't listen to some entertainment from a fat guy on the interweb. The other thing is, in my house here, we spray for mosquitoes on an annual basis. So some guy comes in, sprays in all the vents and areas that mosquitoes might get to, and we are mosquito free. We depart the house for 2 days when that happens, so I'd have to say it's probably not environmentally friendly spraying, but we do spray for it. Now, typhoid, I don't know too much about, another mosquito-borne ailment, but I've never heard of that in Vietnam. To wrap up this first question, what did I have when I came to Vietnam? I think I had some sort of hepatitis shot, and so that might be useful, because obviously hepatitis comes from dirty cooking areas in a country like this, and you may encounter that. Now, I never do. I seem to go to restaurants that are as clean as I would eat at home, and that's clean, come on. But yeah, think about hepatitis. I had a gazillion shots for the plague, just so that I was allowed to travel, and I did get the plague when I was in Vietnam, but I had a mild variant, so I'm lucky. So if you're coming to Vietnam, you're worried about the health situation, consult your local doctor and get the necessary shots that you might get, but I don't think anything is mandatory. So I'm just sitting at the bay here, cooling my heels today. It's a lovely day. It's quite warm today, probably 35, feels like 37, 90% humidity. That's why I'm looking a bit shiny. But I just thought there's two things that people are asking a lot about, and I want to cover them. So the second thing, or before I get to the second thing, of course, like, comment, subscribe. But if you know someone that's thinking about coming to Vietnam, or it's their dream, maybe share this VART with them, because when you share the VART, it gets wider exposure. Now, I've managed to put something in my eye, so please bear with me. The second thing is, do I need to get like a traveller's credit card? So this is a card, a stored value card. You put money on the card in your home country in particular currencies because you're worried about exchange risk, and you bring that and you're going to use that over here. I'd have to say that that's probably a waste of your time and effort. If you think you're going to have some exchange rate win by doing that, and you can outsmart the global banking establishment by putting some money on a shared value card, a stored value card in Dong, by all means do that. If you know how to outsmart the banking community, get that great exchange rate, bring it on a shared value card and get it out over here, let me know. What I do is I just go to the bank, and I went last night with my card from my home country, and I take out what I need for the next 2 weeks to a month. And for me, for a couple of weeks, that's 5 million. So I take out 300 Aussie dollars, which is 5 million Dong, and put that in my pocket. That has no foreign ATM transaction fees from my home country's bank. That particular bank that I go to has no ATM fees for that particular bank, so we've got no fees to get the money out, which you may still encounter with a shared value card. And then secondly, the exchange rate I get there is what I'm expecting. So if it's what I'm expecting, I'm actually happy. If you exchange it at a ATM that you're not familiar with, so you take the ruling rate from that random bank's ATM, you may be disappointed. And I did try that in Malaysia some time ago, and there was a $40 difference between the amount I was getting out. I was getting out about $300, and there was $40 difference in that. I just take out what I need for the fortnight, put it in my pocket, and I pay cash wherever I go. So if you're thinking of coming here and you're worried about the bank situation, just work out what card from your own banking arrangements is going to work in Vietnam, and that's a bit of internet Google, and then try that when you're over here. Now, I would advise you to have multiple cards, and I have multiple cards, so if I have a connuption with the main one that I want to use, I have to go to the backup plan, which may cost me some ATM fees, etc., but after all, it is a backup plan. Now I'm going to pause this, just walk a little bit up the way, and I've got to tell you a bonus one about banking, because a friend of mine just had a calamity, and he's actually having to return to his home country today to get that rectified. Stick with me for this last one, and then I'll let you go. So I'm struggling to see the screen today. I'll just check I've got my microphone on. That appears to be the case. So look, a colleague of mine had his wallet stolen with all his cards, including his Vietnamese ID card, and he lives in Ho Chi Minh City, and he's on his way back to Japan today because he has to get those cards replaced in Japan. He works through banks that are Japanese-based banks, and obviously they're not going to send a replacement card to the land of the rising dragon. So it's been a crisis for him because it's difficult to get hold of money when you haven't got your banking working. And he's on a flight to Tokyo today to get that rectified. He'll go back tomorrow. He'll get new cards from his home bank and be back here within a week. Then he needs to go through the rigmarole of getting his ID card fixed up here and made ready for use. So it is problematic if you haven't got that backup plan, and simply because of what's happened to him, I've changed my process now. First of all, I'm not carrying all my cards in one wallet. I spread them out over three, and in effect, when I got that 5 million Dong last night, I put half to my wife, half to me. So if I get rolled in the street, I'm only losing half my money. And similarly, if she loses her purse, she's only losing half her money. I have to say I haven't seen too much of that crime in Vietnam, albeit about a week ago I heard of a foreigner here in Ha Long getting his passport stolen. The police caught them within about an hour, but obviously didn't get the passport back. So that's about it. Two things that people ask me a lot about: health arrangements when you're coming to Vietnam, and how you get money out and how you bring money here. Just finally, there are pharmacies here you don't need a prescription for most things. So I did go to the pharmacy yesterday and I bought 10 cholesterol tablets and 3 beers for $4. So that's all the health groups there. And I thought it was kind of ironic that I could buy beer at the pharmacy, but that's what I did. And away we go. Thanks for sticking with me. It's a real fast one today because I don't want to waste your time. I want to give you good information about coming to Vietnam. If you've got a question that you think, gee, I wonder if Vietnam Steve can point me to the answer on that, put it in the comments. I'm happy to take those questions. I always comment back. And then, you know, down the track, if enough people are asking about the same thing, I'll do a VART for you. So thanks very much for coming along. I've dropped my spectacles down. I'm going to just continue my 5 at 5 today, and I'll see you in the next one.